Hi, welcome. We're in Rachel's garden. We've been working on the Human Design workshop, and we just thought we'd send you a short message so that you can see what we're going to be doing on the workshop, have a little bit more of an idea about human design. I know some of you might have already had a body graph done, in which case some of this might be a little familiar. If you haven't, then we're going to just run through a few questions with Rachel to find out exactly what you're going to be expecting on the workshop. So Rachel, so what is human design?
Well, human design is like a synthesis of astrology, Kabbalah, the I Ching, and the latest findings in quantum physics. So it's like an amalgamation of those different streams.
So the ancient and modern coming together.
Yeah, very much. And it basically provides us with a map, provides you with a map for navigating your material world.
Right. So what will it do for us?
Well, human design, it doesn't ask you to believe anything, it just invites you to explore and experiment with the mechanics of your nature and your evolving consciousness, and so to find out for yourself what works for you and what doesn't work for you.
That's great. So we know that in human design there are four main types. So can you just say a little bit about what we're going to learn about those four types as we go through the one-day workshop?
Okay, key in human design is just getting that although our minds are useful things, they are not the primary mechanism or the correct mechanism for making decisions in our life. And by knowing what type you are, that gives you your strategy, and with your body graph you also get your authority and your strategy. For example, generators are energy typed. I'm a manifesting generator, and my strategy is to respond to the flow of life as it comes to
whatever's coming
to
you.
Yeah, I respond. Like my gut tells me I either have energy for this or I don't have energy for this. I'm drawn towards it, and I will lean into it with my physical body.
Knowing about the four types helps us navigate our material world, and that's really what human design seems to me is doing, is giving us that navigation. So one of the things I found really, really excellent and really practical was this concept of authority, which allowed me to, definitely allowed me to make better decisions. And what will we understand about that?
Okay, authority comes from the definition of the 9 centres. So you'll find that you have centres that are defined and centres that are undefined. And where you're undefined is where you're open to being conditioned by other people who have definition in those centres. And where you're defined is where you can consistently rely on certain mechanics going on in your body.
And that comes out in the body graph because it's either one that's coloured in or one that's clear.
So knowing where you're conditioned, for example, and this leads into authority. So for those of us that have sacral authority, that means the red square at the sacral area is coloured in, then our strategy is responding, and we will literally get an or an a kind of grunt, or we will physically lean into something if it's correct for us, or lean away from it if it's incorrect. Whereas somebody with emotional authority doesn't have the same in-the-moment knowledge of what's correct for them, because emotions go through waves. And so where you are and how you feel about something at the high point of the wave is completely different to how you feel about it at the low point of the wave. So all people with emotional authority need to buy time.
So we have to kind of
when
wait.
You're being asked for a decision to go and do something, or to show up for this show, or to do that. You need to say, it sounds great, but I'll get back to you next week. Buy time for making...
And that's certainly true for me, because I know that I've got that centre defined, and if I jump in straight away, I'll often wish I hadn't, and
wake up the next morning and
say,
wonder,
well,
what
why
the
did I
hell?
say yes to that? So that's a
yeah.
great way of learning about that sort of stuff.
But it just shows you that, I can be quick in my response. I can't expect you to be quick in your response. I have to give you time to find your response over time.
So some great ways of knowing the differences between people, so that we can navigate our relationships in a better way.
And know that, their way being different is not personal. It's just they're actually designed differently. They work differently. They create differently.
And most of us puzzle about, the purpose, what are we here for? What does human design tell us about that kind of question that almost everybody has at some point?
Yeah, okay. Well, purpose, in human design there's 12 profiles based on the lines of the hexagrams in the I Ching, so lines 1 to 6. It's a bit like astrology has 12 sun signs.
Yeah.
So, and depending on what lines you have in your profile, for example, line 1s are investigators. If you're a line 3, line 3s are here to learn by and to make mistakes, and their strategy is, well, often they love them and leave them, and that's correct for them because they require a lot of space. So, you know, if you're in relationship to somebody who's a line 3, you may take it really personally, like it's rejection. Well, it's not. They just need a lot of space.
Right. So this really helps you manage those
It
parts
helps
of
you
your
not
life.
to take it personally.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, look, this is a quick run through of the sorts of things we're going to be covering on the workshop. I found human design absolutely fascinating and really revealing in terms of helping me navigate the world and knowing a little bit more about myself. So if you've done some work with Rachel or myself, you'll have a body graph already, in which case you can bring that along. Otherwise, if you haven't, then you will collect your birth date and other data. We'll be asking for that, and you'll have a body graph prepared for you on the workshop. So you'll be able to follow along with what's true for you in the workshop.
With what's relevant to you according to your design. Yeah,
Exactly.
You'll get a map for navigating your reality. And if you've already got a map for navigating your reality, come along and we'll show you how to use it.
Yeah. So we'll tell you how to read the map, basically.
Yeah.
So we're really excited about running the workshop. We've been talking about this for a while, so
Yeah, we have.
we just want to get it on. So you'll find underneath at the bottom of this video there's a button which will take you straight to the booking form, and if you want to talk to us or ring up and book, that's cool too. You'll find the phone number below as well. So book online or give us a call. If you want to chat some more about it, feel free to give me a ring. The number's on the website.
Or send an email, whatever works for you.
Or send me, whatever works for you. And we really look forward to seeing you on the workshop. You'll be most welcome.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye for now.